Halftime. Welcome everybody to PatFacts. Patrick here, Pat on your back, personal fitness. Hope you're having a great week, surviving the heat that's going through Ontario here again. The heat, humidity. It's halftime. We're approaching the end of June. We're halfway through the year. Month 6 is almost done. We're hitting that halfway point. So that would be a great time just to check in, have a little halftime break. You think of sporting events, there's some sort of halftime or intermission. I know hockey has a couple of periods, but basketball, football, usually there's a halftime. There's some sort of transition, at least in the middle of most things. Again, sometimes there's a couple spread out, but there's some sort of intermission throughout. And we're halfway through our year, finishing month 6, easy for me to say. And we're hitting in. So that'll be a great time to sort of review and set up our halftime plan, because there's an adjustment. You don't just sit and have some carnison during your halftime break and rehydrate and go. There's a bit of strategy involved in that, and I think being halfway through the year, we want to implement that strategy in for us now as well, so we finish the last half of the year great. Hey Natty, happy Wednesday, welcome. Good to see you. Thanks for tuning in. Welcome to our halftime report. Again, looking for ways to make the most of the first half of the year and lead into that second half strong. So we've got 5 ways, 5 tips for you to make the most of this halftime, or to use your halftime up. And they're going to be sort of from sports analogies, basically, but again, it applies to everyday life. So if you don't play sports or haven't done sports or don't watch them, it's okay. You'll still get the message of it. If you have played sports and or watched sports, then again, this might be familiar for you. Or maybe if you just watch occasionally, maybe this will be kind of new for you. It'll give you a bit of an understanding of what athletes go through on their intermissions, their half times, their breaks, and also show you ways you can again, implement this sort of strategy into your planning, into your goal setting. And we'll talk in a few months. Hey, Jess, welcome. A few months about fourth quarter and finishing the year off strong as well. Kind of dividing the year up into sections so we can keep on track with our goals like we talked about before. No, you don't have to leave your air conditioning, Natty, for those. Not at all. You can stay right where you are and keep them in for now. You can totally do them by your air conditioner wherever you need to be. We can do that. So you're good where you are for that one. The first one we're going to talk about, and typically we're going to, again, look at maybe sort of that halftime setup. Whistle blows, the clock runs out, whatever it is. There's a little bit of unwind time. The athletes go back to the locker room. Maybe they grab some water. They sit for a bit. They kind of catch their breath and make sure that things are just kind of feeling okay. They come down just a little bit to let things start to recover because their bodies are trained. So that's what I want you to do as well. Put in your unwind time. We've talked about scheduling in your weekly breaks from your workouts and your training, but maybe you need a little bit of unwind time. Maybe you need to step back from your goal just a little bit so you can, again, come back at things with a fresh perspective like we've talked about before. So we set up some unwind time. So maybe you take a moment where you don't think about your goals, where you don't stress about your plan or analyze it or go through it. Maybe just take a few moments first, because we're going to do those things soon. Spoiler alert. But maybe take a few moments where you're not worried about that. Maybe just relax a little bit. Listen to some music. Maybe go for a nice walk. Maybe do a workout. Maybe just read a book. Set some time for you just to unwind. Maybe forget about the stress of the day and maybe how your program's been going, and then we can come at it with a new focus. But there's usually a little bit of unwind time, again, just to let that adrenaline settle a little bit, let things ease down a little bit. So schedule those in for you. Again, we try to get them in weekly if we can, those breaks. But again, maybe set aside some specific time when you know, and hopefully you'll do this within the next week or so, because again, next Friday, a week from Friday, is July 1st, so month 7. So hopefully in the next week, week and a half, you'll take some time to do these strategies. And when you're going to do it, again, maybe set a little unwind time first. Or maybe decide, I've been training hard, I've been meeting my goals, I've been staying consistent. And hopefully, again, you've scheduled in some of this unwind time. Maybe you've decided this will sort of be my time to take a little break from my workout, to take a little break from working on that project or learning that new skill. Sometimes those are good as long as they're calculated and planned for, so they don't turn into not doing it ever again, but at least taking a break. Sometimes mentally and or physically, I find if I take a little break or leave something for a bit, and I notice it with clients as well, sometimes that lets things sink in. The mind can really adapt and adjust. The body goes through those adaptations. And then when you come back, again, the perspective is fresh, but mentally and physically, the body and mind have adapted, worked together to maybe put you in a better spot. So look at booking some unwind time. Again, if you're looking to really work on this in the next week or so, find some time to unwind first. Clear your head, relax a little bit, mellow out, again, recharge a little bit, and then follow that up with our next point, number 2, again, of 5 ways, to make the most of your halftime as we're halfway through 2022, is number 2 is review the game plan. So we started, again, if you've been with me, back in October of last year, basically starting our resolutions. We talked about action words between then and December. What was our theme word for 2022? Mine is action. That's where that came from. But we talked about theme words and what are our theme words going to be for 2022? So we can make our decisions and our judgments and our plans based on the theme of our year. So mine was action. So I'm trying to make the decisions and plans to align with being in action this year. There's been bumps in the road for sure, but we're trying to do that. So review your game plan. What were your goals for this year that you set maybe back in October or January or even last month if you're just kind of getting going with this? It's always good to review and track and see where you're going, celebrate those victories, those little victories that are leading you toward the game. So in a kind of a sport analogy, we might review what our game plan was. Say in a basketball setting, okay, gang, tonight we want to fast break. We want to push the ball and run and be very quick. And we did that in the first bit. We came out strong. We had a good lead. And then we got away from that in the second quarter. And they were able to get set up and play good defense. And maybe we struggled a little bit. So let's not forget our game plan. Let's go back to what that game plan was and let's get things rolling again. So what was your game plan? What was your goal? Or what were your goals that you set again back in the fall? Or again, whenever you've joined us and started and got this ball rolling, what's on tap for you? How are things going? Are you on track with your goals? Have you been staying consistent? Have you met your goals, or are you meeting the little goals that you've set to work towards that big overall goal for 2022? Again, a New Year's resolution, as our pal Blake likes to remind us, it's a New Year's resolution, apostrophe S. It belongs to the year. It's not just January. It's the whole year to essentially accomplish it. And that's why we want to think of kind of October, November this year, even December, working backwards to last October, or again, whenever you joined us, of setting those goals and resolutions and working towards them each time. So how's the game plan been going? Have you been sticking to it? Have you had to change the game plan? Have you needed to take some timeouts and readjust your play? Has your opponent, which in this case would be life, has your opponent thrown something at you that you didn't expect, that you had to adjust to? That's what sport is. It's team versus team or one-on-one, and you reacting to an opponent. What are they doing? How are they attacking you or defending your attack? And what adjustments do you need to make? So was there something you didn't expect when we make our schedules and our system and our plan for the year, that you thought you'd be busy at this time and a little lighter here? Have things maybe changed? Are you working through a little busy time that maybe you didn't expect? Has the weather not cooperated with some of your exercise routine for being outside, say running? The weather here has been either really cold or 30 to 40 degrees humidity. There doesn't seem to be a whole lot of in between yet. So it's tricky sometimes to plan those out, or you have to adjust the schedule. Are you doing the steps that you laid out that are going to move you towards your goal? Have you fallen off the wagon? Have you had bumps in the road? Probably, because we all go through them. But hopefully we put the plans in place to work through those and around them or go over them, whatever the case was. And hopefully that was part of our game plan. And if not, again, now is maybe a time to look at it and say, you know what? It was a pretty good plan. I had some good steps. I made some good progress, but I forgot about sort of these things over here. I didn't take these into account. So let's maybe adjust the game plan. Let's tweak the game plan a little bit, and let's maybe move forward with that. So review your game plan. Sometimes reviewing the game plan brings you back into focus. Oh yeah, I said I was going to work out 3 times a week and work full body workouts and try to be more mobile through the day, become more functional with my training so I can perform better in my daily life. Maybe reviewing that, because hopefully you wrote it down, and how you're going to do that will get you back in that kind of driver's seat and get you going again. Well, I've only been doing a couple workouts a week. I said 3 to really help me get to my goal. I should probably try to ramp that back up. What can I do to get that 3rd workout in? What do I need to bring back into my game plan? What maybe did I take out of the game plan that maybe I shouldn't have? You always make adjustments on the fly as you're going. What's something that maybe I get rid of that I should bring back in because it was working? I thought maybe it wasn't as efficient as I wanted it to be, so I got rid of it. But then I went backwards even more. So maybe I need to bring it back in. So again, take your unwind time. I would say if you can, try to group those either back-to-back days or even on the same day. Take maybe just like a half hour to an hour. Again, unwind. Try to not think about your plan and your systems and everything going on, even life around you. Take a little time to unwind, as we said, our first tip, and then get into reviewing that game plan and schedule these things into your agenda, your schedule, your planner. Again, pick some time between now and Friday. Friday's the 1st, so ideally let's have it done by Thursday to really get these things up and going and set up with us. Hey, Bonnie, welcome in. Good to see you. Always at the right time. No, not late at all. So take some time, review that game plan. And after you've done your review, and we've kind of touched on this a little bit, maybe you need to make some adjustments based on your opponent, which again, as I mentioned, in this case for you is life. Life is our opponent. Life is what's in our face, whether that's a coworker, a colleague that's not working well with you, whether it's someone that disagrees with what you're working towards, whether it's, I don't know, a pandemic, whether it's a loss, a life-changing event, whatever the case is. Life, basically, as I mentioned, is our sport. We're all athletes. Life is our sport. I think of life as being our mission. I like to say my clients are operationally fit. I train them to be operationally fit to fight the daily battles that life hands you. So life is the opponent or the enemy, if you want to look at it that way. And they're going to put that opposition up there, and you have to work against it. And you'll go in with a battle plan or a game plan, but you'll have to make adjustments based on what they're doing. Sometimes you can't just stick with what you have because it's not working because of what they're doing. Again, this case being life. So make those adjustments, make those tweaks. Maybe 3 times a week of working out, like we said earlier. Maybe that's just not realistic. Maybe that's not going to work for you. It's just not with your schedule and your work commitments and your volunteering. Maybe 3 times a week just isn't working. So maybe it's going to be twice a week. Or maybe it's going to be a couple of weekdays and a weekend. Maybe it's going to be 3 times a week, but 2 of those are on one day. So maybe you have a morning workout and an evening workout, maybe some cardio, some strength, or some stretching, kind of spread things up that way. Because maybe, again, life gets in the way, life happens. So we have to adjust to that. That's your opponent here. So we need to make those adjustments. And again, typically in halftime, that's where your coach comes in. Your coach maybe gives you that time to unwind, a little bit of time to yourself to maybe think about, process what's gone on the first half. Then they come in, they review the game plan with you. Remember, this is what we had planned. This is why we're doing it. This is where we're going. And then they'll help you make adjustments based on your opponent. So again, that's where someone like me comes in and says, okay, you're doing this. We plan to have your goal by December to be X. How are you progressing? Well, I started off good, but I kind of fell into a rut. Okay, what happened? Well, my work schedule changed and I'm working more nights than I was, so I can't work out as many evenings as I want to. Okay, let's look at your schedule. Let's look at your mornings. Let's look at your weekends. Let's look at your workout format. Can we tweak things around a little bit? Can we make modifications to, again, make it work for you? And that's how I view my role as a wellness fitness coach, is not just counting reps and sets, but really guiding you and coaching you to success by working with you and what you bring to the table. If you were my athlete on a sports team, I would work with what you bring to the team. Are you a good rebounder? Are you a good shooter? Are you a good ball handler? Are you a good defender? Are you a good three-point shooter? I would work through that into the offense and the different strategies and systems I want to work in. And then I would probably try to develop more of your skills to make you as much of a well-rounded player as I could. Again, same thing here. We're going to take your strengths and really push them forward to keep you progressing, to keep you having success, to build self-esteem, self-confidence. But then I'm also going to work with you to bring up maybe some of those other areas that just are a little bit lacking your really big strengths. And maybe that's your health itself. Maybe we're going to focus again on bringing up that area where it would give you the most benefit to improve. And then that'll help the other elements come up to make you a well-rounded individual in terms of health and wellness. So you want to make adjustments based on that opponent. So either you go through with them and review, like we said, review the game plan, and then see what life is doing to you or for you, we like to say, maybe not so much to you, and then make adjustments as you need to. Maybe you need to tweak your goal. Maybe you need to tweak your deadline. Maybe you just need to tweak your plan of how to get there. Maybe you're taking steps towards your goal every other day. Maybe it's time to ramp it up to every day. Let's do a little bit to get towards that goal. Or maybe let's do a couple steps every day because you find you have the ability to do so. So you want to ramp that up and push that up a little more. Maybe you can move your goal date a little closer. Maybe not further away, maybe closer. Again, there could be things you need to work through and things that you need to recognize that are working and then keep those going, or maybe amp them up a little bit to reap the rewards even more. But those adjustments are very important because that's, again, we're fine tuning. We're creating that system. So again, when we finish 2022, when we reach our goal, we have that success, we can take this year in this system, again, these adjustments being part of that, and then maybe apply them to next year's goal that we'll start talking about in October, November. Getting things ready for 2023. We're halfway to 2023 already. So we want to build that momentum and again, learn from this year. As much as we want to achieve our goal, we want to learn from the process. Right? They say life is the journey, not the destination. So we want to learn from the journey, from what we've been going through to get to our goal. So that again, when we set our new goal, we can get there. We can work more efficiently and maybe avoid some of these hiccups and bumps in the road that we've been going through over maybe these past 6 months, and be able to progress and evolve and better ourselves. That again, the next goal is achieved more efficiently or maybe faster because we've had this experience to build on and draw through. So again, for those just joining in, we're talking about 5 ways to kind of go through. We're in halftime right now, halftime of 2022. June is ending in a week and a half. July is month 7, second half of the year. So we're going into halftime and we're going through a little halftime plan scenario so we can really get into the second half of the year, still progressing towards our goals so we can achieve them and win the game, as it were, by achieving our goals. So the first one was take some unwind time. Take a bit of time to not think about your goals, your plans, your systems. Take a bit of time, 30 minutes to an hour. Maybe it's a bit of if you're working out or being really heavy involved in your goals, maybe take a step away for a couple days. But again, plan it. Set up the strategy so that it doesn't turn into weeks and months and if you're not doing things. Set a plan in place and follow it. Then review the game plan. What was your goal back in, again, October, November, if you've been with us when we set our resolutions, or whenever you started? What was your game plan to get to the end of 2022? Did you have a theme word? What were your goals? What was your strategy to get towards those goals? What was your day-to-day plan to get you one step toward that goal every day? And then we want to make adjustments based on your opponent. Again, what we said is life. Life is going to throw things at us daily, if not hourly or by the minute, depending on what's going on. We need to adjust and adapt. And our game plan is probably going to need some tweaks along the way just to help us get there. So we got 2 more to go. in our 5 ways to enjoy our halftime. Make sure halftime we always hydrate as well. So be sure you're getting your water in as you're in your halftime prep, or your carnison, whatever you prefer. We're going to begin our warm-up, your second half prep. So we take some downtime, we review our game plan, we make our adjustments based on what the opponent is giving us, and then we want to begin our warm-up. You don't just go back to the court and go 100 miles an hour running sprints and driving to the basket. You go out and warm up a little bit, move around, maybe do a little shoot around, maybe some layups, maybe a little bit of stretching, get that blood flowing again, get that body temperature up a little bit. Kind of same thing here. We want to unwind, review our game plan, make our adjustments, and let's warm up let's get things going. Let's prep for the second half. And let's think, what can I do tonight to set me up for success tomorrow? What can I do to make the most of the opportunity? What can I do to make the most progress? What can I do tonight to make a step towards my goal? What can I do to keep myself moving forward? And begin that warm up, get into that mindset. Maybe again, you review the game plan. You go back, maybe you've made your adjustments. Maybe go back and review the new game plan, the modified game plan. And then you know what's coming. You know what it is now you're working towards, or how you're going to work towards it. And hopefully that will inspire you a little bit, fire you up a little bit, get you in that mindset of working towards that and knowing that whatever, tonight is the night to start, or tomorrow is the first day towards the goal, second half. What can I do? I'm going to warm up. I'm going to get things ready. I'm going to be familiar with my new plan if it changed a little bit, and my adjustments, so that I know where I'm going tomorrow, because it might take you a few days to really implement these and get them going. So again, maybe you get a little bit of initiation, get some of that, introduce some of those changes gradually in the next week and a half until July starts. When July kicks in and you're hitting the ground running. We don't want to just go all out right away. We want to kind of get things set up first, put things in place. Maybe we need to give ourselves a couple of weeks of a buffer to try our adjustments and see how are they working. Are the adjustments doing what we need them to do? Are they working the way we want them to? Yep. Okay. So let's continue to move forward. Let's stay strong. Let's stay the course, and let's go forward. We want to get ready for that second half. So again, review your game plan, make adjustments. Again, maybe re-review it, because it probably is different if you've tweaked it and made adjustments, and then begin thinking about how you can introduce some of these changes. What do you need to work on? Does your big calendar need to change with your schedule? Does your agenda need to change? Does your workout routine need to be rewritten or adjusted or split up differently? Do you need to look at a different app to use? Do you need to reach out to your coach and have a session or a coaching call, accountability call, to really get things in line and get things going? And get yourself set up again, so you know that second half can be the success that you deserve it to be, and keep things going forward. So again, that's why I'm trying to encourage you within the next week and a half, by Thursday, to be done your halftime report if you can, so you'll have some of this in place already. So we're Wednesday as I record this, the 22nd. Let's say maybe by Saturday, you've gone through steps 1 to 3. And then you can incorporate, as you make your adjustments, kind of 3A maybe would be trying to schedule when you implement those adjustments. And then 4 would be starting to maybe do some trial and error. Are they working? Is this what I'm wanting to do? Is this going to progress me towards my goal as I'm hoping it will? And then maybe give yourself a week or 2 to put these other steps into place, make sure they're working well for you. And then after that, maybe second week mark, then you can really know, yep, this is working. I can hit the ground running. Or no, this isn't working for me. I need to scrap this. And maybe just go back to the way things were. Or maybe I need to tweak this a little bit more. But the sooner we can go through and review those first 3 steps, then we can get into the 4th step and make the most of our time. So it's a halftime. There is some adjustment made, but there's some prep. But again, if you watch sports, they typically come out and they do a shoot around, or they warm up, or they skate a little bit, shoot the puck, they dribble the soccer ball around, they throw the ball to each other in the outfield, they stand in the on-deck circle, take a few swings. There's some prep involved first, so that we're ready, and we can, when time is right, when the horn goes to start the next half, next inning, whatever, we can hit the ground running and go all out because we've done the prep work that we need to do. And before we get to the fifth one, let's jump over to our comments here. Bonnie says some days are better than others, but working on making a touchdown. Love it between now and the end of the year. Awesome, Bonnie, for sure. So we want to make a touchdown. So we get our halftime show in. We listen to some music. We're going to score that big touchdown. That's our big game-winning moment to get us through the end of the year. And that's great. Identify what your touchdown is, and then again work backwards to halftime. What you need to do to get there. Revisit that. That's awesome, Bonnie. I can't wait to hear about that touchdown when you score it. Are you going to throw it in the end zone, or are you going to run across the end zone? What's your game plan? So we want to think of, again, using those analogies. If you're into sports, use the analogy of halftime and thinking of quarters and plays and offense and defense. If you're not, then use something that works better for you. Thinking of stories and protagonists and agonists, and there's dips and flows in a story itself where things happen, and then there's a little bit of a lull and a big kind of crescendo or a climax before the ending of the story. You go through those ebbs and flows. Again, you're the same way. Build up into that second half and get yourself going. Put in those systems into place. And again, trial and error, so you can hit the ground running when it's time. Good point, Bonnie. Bonnie says running burns more calories. So she's going to run it into the end zone and not throw it because she's going to burn more calories along the way. So she's going to incorporate that into her goal. That's awesome, Bonnie. Good analogy. So we'll run the ball. Bonnie's going to run the ball into the end zone and score that touchdown by the end of the year, between now and the end of the year. So she's got her goals set up there. And again, has that analogy. Break it down. Make it work for you. Also, if you remember, I think it was last year, I talked about one of Todd Durkin's mantras, train to win. And I explained what train to win meant to me and really expanded it outside of a fitness component. And a couple of you said train to win for me would actually mean this. Perfect. Make it apply for you. If you make it applicable to you, you're going to bump up your chances for success a little higher. And that's what we want. We want you to think of an analogy. We thought of our own theme words. Again, I want to go back and find the episode where you guys all declared your theme words here for 2022 and kind of review them and remind you of them. We're going to do that in the next couple of weeks, so you can have that reminder going into the second half. But again, they were all different. Mine is action. You guys all had your own theme word for 2022, and that's okay. It should be individual. It should be specific to you. So make your goals again, as specific as you can, and your analogies and your plans and your processes, make them as specific to you as you can. So just quick to review and wrap up here are 5 ways to make the most of this halftime period and go into the second half of 2022 on the right foot. You want to take some unwind time. Again, if you're working on this, say tomorrow, book some time to unwind, half hour to an hour, de-stress, unplug, recharge, listen to music, book, walk, workout, whatever works for you. Take some time away from things, unwind. And then maybe your next hour is review the game plan. Maybe that's the next day. Again, whatever works for you. But again, I like to encourage you to try to have at least the first 3 steps done before Friday, so that again, you can have things in place to go. So review your game plan that you set up when you first started this journey a few months ago, a few weeks ago, whatever the case may be. Review that game plan and how's it going. Then we want to make adjustments based on what the opponent is doing to us or for us or at us, which is, again, in our case, is life. What is life throwing at you? What daily battles is life throwing at you that you have to make adjustments for to still be operationally fit? And then make those adjustments, incorporate them into your game plan. Adjust it, tweak the game plan, modify it as you need to. And again, maybe review it again, and then begin that warm up or that second half prep. So the changes, the adjustments you made here, put them into your game plan. And then part of that game plan is how can I implement them? Or what can I do to maybe introduce one of 3 things first? Maybe have 3 adjustments you make, but sometimes making 3 adjustments at once becomes overwhelming. So I'll pick one adjustment. I'll work through it for a few days. When that feels comfortable, I'll add the second one. Or when I know one is working, I'll add the second. Sometimes if we add 3 at once, we don't know what one is or is not working for us. But if we do one at a time, then we can kind of see what's working for us, make sure it's going well, it's helping us the way we want it to, and then we can add that next adjustment in. So again, give yourself that warm-up time, that prep time, again, maybe a week or two to really put some things in place if you need it, and then hit the ground running as we go. And the fifth way to kind of make the most of this halftime break, this halftime report, in my opinion, is start strong. So remember, we want to do our warm-up. We want to do our second half prep and introduce things. And when we know we have a system that works for us, then let's go. Let's start strong. You want to come out of halftime and start strong and run the ball at your opponents. Drive the ball down their throat, we'd say, or spend most of the time in their end, their side of the field, their end of the rink. Whatever it is, you want to start strong, put the pressure on your opponent, on life. You want to go at life. You want to go at your goal and start strong, working towards it. So it's hard for them to impede you, to slow you down, to defend you. You want to make it challenging for them. You want them on their heels. You want life on its heels, so you're in control. You're controlling the controllables and working through as much as you can. So start the second half strong. And you'll hear me say this again in the fourth quarter, but we always want to come out of the gate strong. You want to win the tip if you're having a jump ball. You want to win that first face-off. You want to get a base runner on with that first at-bat coming to the plate. Whatever the case is, we want to start strong. So again, go through those first 3 to 4 steps, and then we go into 4, getting that warm-up, and then 5 is start strong. Really hit the ground running. Take those 2 weeks to implement things, trial and error, get things adjusted, and then let's go. Let's finish strong. Let's put our head down. Let's buckle. Do whatever you need to do to set yourself up for success. Write words out, put them on your computer screen, on your mirrors, set alerts up on your phone so that your theme word pops up and reminds you during the day. Tell people, accountability partners and buddies, write down your goals so you can review them and see them all the time. Whatever works for you, but put in some accountability, put in some systems so you can start strong and really hit the ground running, because you want to either hopefully build on the lead you've already created in the first half, so it puts life again in a bit of a hole. They've got to dig back to make it hard for you. If you come out kind of passive and a little weak, they're going to run up the score, and then you've got to work harder to finish that year off on the right note. So let's start strong. Let's get ourselves organized. Let's refocus. Again, if you need to, reach out, contact a coach, get things in order, help them help you with a fresh perspective, a fresh set of eyes, some experience, some knowledge, some know-how, some education, where they can help you really guide and mold and shift and adjust your plan if needed, and help you stay focused on the game, on the goal, on that trophy, on that big touchdown that Bonnie's going to score to end the year. What can we do to work towards that? Start strong. That strong start is so important because it builds that momentum. Like we always talk about, we want to have momentum going for us, positive momentum. If we can build that energy and momentum early, then it keeps going, it keeps spiraling, and it grows and grows and grows. And then it's very hard to slow us down, let alone stop us on our journey towards our goals. So you can do it. I know you can. I have faith in you guys. If you need assistance, again, reach out to me. We can set up some coaching calls, get you on track with that, help you get on the right path, get that game plan situated, find that good offense to really, again, drive it at them, at life, and have a good stable defense to be able to handle those obstacles that life is going to throw you. And they're going to throw things at you. They're going to throw even more at you if you come out strong, because they're going to be on their heels. They're going to be bailing and reeling. They're going to do whatever they can. But if we start strong, stick to our system, make adjustments as we need to, we'll be on the right path to that game-winning touchdown, that championship-winning touchdown, getting to our goal at the end of the year. Thanks, Bonnie. Have a great week as well. We'll see you next Wednesday. Thanks, Natty. Want to start off, that's right, nice and strong, and get ourselves off on the right foot and get ourselves growing and going. So those are my 5 tips to again, really use halftime to your advantage. Make the most of it. Get things moving forward. We talk about chunking up our goals and our schedules and using our systems and planning out calendar things. This is the halfway point of the year. Again, I mentioned we'll do a bit of a fourth quarter review, probably at the end of September, because October, November, December was sort of the fourth quarter of the year. So we want to make sure, again, we're checking in and how things are going. And every month, even every week, again, whatever works for you, set up those check-in points. Write them down, plan them out. Use a journal if you need to, like a high-performance planner, journal, a notebook, an app on your phone, whatever it is that works for you. But put all these things into play to set yourself up for the most success. So again, you can win that championship, which is your goal that you've set up for yourself so long ago. So again, we'll see you next week. I'm going to try to find that episode where we talked about our theme words for 2022, and we're going to review them and mention them. I'm going to share what some of you shared with me. Hopefully that's okay, and it's okay. We'll review them, and if they've changed, that's fine too. If they're the same and you're working towards them, awesome. If they're the same and you're having some struggles, that's okay. I have struggles with mine too, and we're working towards being better and working towards that effective 2022, where yes, Naz, we can all be operationally fit to fight the daily battles that life hands us. That's my goal for you as members of my community, and as hopefully coaching clients one day soon, is to help you be operationally fit and help so many people be operationally fit, so we can live our day with high energy, high enthusiasm, and make the most of it and be able to handle, again, those day-to-day demands. Thanks, Natty, for being here, and Bonnie as well, and everybody else who's been tuning in. Again, if you're watching a recording, please comment. Let me know how you're going to spend your halftime. What's your halftime plan? Any adjustments you're going to make? Maybe let me know. Love to hear from you. I go back and check the comments and read them as they come in. So let me know what you're going to do for your second half of the year. How do you spend your halftime report, and how did you feel after going through your halftime review? Again, let's share these things with each other to help each other grow and be better people, and share that positivity pandemic throughout our communities that we're all so fond of. So have a great night, everyone. Stay safe. Remember, keep that self-care ramped up. Remember, lots of heat, humidity, so stay hydrated. Drink your water. Eat well. Supplement if you need to. Get good sleep. Let that body and mind rest and recover. I know it's been tough here with the humidity and heat to really get a good night's sleep. Something I'm trying to improve on in the next few days, because I can feel my body feeling sluggish and kind of swollen. So let's ramp up that self-care. Let's make yourselves the priority that you deserve to be by striving to be operationally fit. Have a great night, gang. Stay safe, and we'll see you next week.